Welcome back to another episode of Sex Talk 101. On today's Sex Files, we'll be talking to Jinkx Monsoon. Let's take a look. Hi Jinkx, thank you so much for joining me today for Sex Talk 101. How are you?
I'm doing well, considering, it's been quite the transition, I think, for those of us who are live performers and, make our whole living on the road to all of a sudden have to go to being, digital queens. I've just been, anything I think that would be even remotely watchable, I've just been putting online.
That's what we're supposed to do. We're entertainers. We're supposed to make people feel good. But speaking of feeling good and entertaining, you've been traveling for many years, so I'm sure you have plenty of stories, but I want to know a real good, juicy, either funny or embarrassing.
Well, I came out at age 14 and I met other queer people, right out of the closet. So I've been sexually active for a long time. I started my slick years early. And, this was before Drag Race, but one of my favorite stories to tell, I was home from school on summer break. So I had my summer job, and I was crashing with some friends. And it was my last night in town, and I invited this guy I had been sleeping with over because I had the apartment to myself. And he had been out drinking, and this is before I even really drank, if you can believe that there was ever a time before alcohol for me. But but he was out at the bar drinking all night, and I was like, whatever, come over. So we had whiskey that night. And are you familiar with the term pushing rope?
I don't know if I've ever called it that, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Pushing rope. Just think about it. Anyway.
All right, everyone. For those of you that don't know what pushing rope is, and I have to admit, I didn't know about 30 seconds ago either. Thank God I have a research team. We have Professor Tucker, who's going to explain it just a little bit deeper. Professor? Pushing rope. Pushing rope is a term used when someone isn't fully erect and they're trying to have sex. This is also called erectile dysfunction, ED. What are the common causes of this? Medication, cholesterol, nerves, and blood pressure. Smoking and drinking are also common reasons for ED. So, what can you do if this is an ongoing issue? The best thing you can do is consult with a doctor. Some doctors might prescribe you some medication for this. Some may suggest counseling, and there's also other alternatives like using a pump. But the best thing to do is just to check with your doctor. In this case with Jinkx, though it sounds more like it was alcohol induced. Back to you. All right, now that you've learned what pushing rope is, let's continue.
So yeah, we had sex, we got it done, but when we were done, I'm getting up from the bed and getting dressed and stuff, making small talk, and I say, "Where's the condom?" And
no.
He just said very plainly, "I think it's still inside you." And this had never happened to me before. This was the first time this had ever happened. And I was so embarrassed, and I didn't know what to say. So I was like, "How did that happen?" And he says, "I don't know. I think your ass is too tight." So first of all, that's the point.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any such thing as too tight when it comes to anal sex. And then second of all, we all know what happened. His whiskey dick, wasn't hard enough to keep the condom on, and then his useless dick left its trash inside of me.
And your butthole just sucked it up.
Yeah. It was like a Little Shop of Horrors situation. Feed me, Seymour.
Oh my God.
But I was so embarrassed. I was young. I'm a Virgo, so I always think everything's my fault. And I really took the blame for it. And then, it was only years after that I thought back on that. And I was like, he shouldn't have blamed it on me. He should have owned up to his whiskey, his floppy penis. But
So what I want to know is, was it ever found again?
Yeah, I waited for him to leave because I knew if I went into the bathroom while he was still there, he would know exactly what I was doing, pushing a condom out of me. And I didn't like that I had been robbed of my mystique, there was no more There was no more nuance or mystery. It was all condom in my butt from that moment on.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's such a good story. Thank you so much for sharing today.
Of course. I mean, I gotta tell you, post Drag Race, I still continued using Grindr. And for a while, I thought it was better to be kind of like covert. You know, I had a picture of me playing guitar naked. And so the guitar was covering my naughty bits. And I was like looking away like this so you could barely see me.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it was better to like not tell everyone right away that it was me, Jinkx, on Grindr. But then every conversation eventually ends up with, aren't you that drag queen from Drag Race?
Uh-huh.
So after I got sick of that, I just changed my profile picture to, you know, my face. It's clearly me. My name says Jinkx Monsoon, and that ice is just broken from the get-go.
I live. That's good. I hope we get to hang out and tour again because you're so fun.
I know. We always have the best times on tour. You know, it'll be different now that I don't drink, but I think I'm still the life of the party. I just smoke weed twice as much.
Well, now wasn't that informative? I hope you enjoyed Sex Talk 101. Until next time, goodbye. Now, where was I?
Feed me, Seymour.